Hello, this is a mass recovery day. Flyaway hairs. Those pews are very hard on an old lady's butt. This has been on my mind for a few days and trying to find the chutzpah to share it. Transitioning halfway through your life. You have a goodly amount of knowledge, work experience. Lordy, my resume would be at least 3 pages long. I've made gobs of money for other people. But transitioning when you're older means that unless you have had previous employers that will change the name on your work history, you end up self-disclosing. My final working job was working at a pet hotel, a little stint with the grooming salon. I believe I was the first transgender person to ever work there. And because I had to self-disclose with previous employees, for some reason, people think when you grow into your real gender that you forgot everything you learned, experienced, traveled, let alone trying to get my Navy and Department of Defense records and such a name change over. So it's sort of like you're beginning all over again. I'm not the only person, male to female, female to male, that run into this situation. In fact, where I attend worship, one of my communities, they never knew me before. And sometimes I'll just be chatting, afterwards as we have coffee, and I'll drop a knowledge bomb. Really? Yes, really. It almost feels like a self-denial. I transitioned at the end of the Harry Benjamin suggested way to transition. It meant you had to live X amount of years as the gender that you were going to before changing your name. And all the complications of government paperwork, gender identity change, and why should it be any more difficult for us than the person that goes into the plastic surgeon and gets lots of work done? You can come out with a whole new face, but you don't have to prove who you were before. This brings up the discussion that's been brought out into the public because of political things. People that are transitioning at a younger age. It would have been a blessing if they had, oh, Lordy. But I couldn't transition at a younger age. But for a person, when they reach their own age of knowledge and can make kind guidance availed to them, it would have been and will be a much easier transition. All three of my alpha children, and no, they're not little things, have degrees. And I believe all three of them have successfully had their degree work information switched over, which is a great benefit for them. Gosh, in varying decades, their ages, maybe 1.5 decades, 2 decades, 2.5 decades younger than me, when things were moving in a positive way. If I could have presented without questions previous work history, experiences, knowledge, trainings, that had the correct name on it, well, it might have been a different path, and I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you. There's a reason why I've been brought to this portion of life. Maybe to ramble, maybe to open some understanding. Lord have mercy. I just read about a good thing in Ireland, and then a thing where their legislature is wanting to remove hate crime, discrimination in language. There's a poison been let loose on this earth, but that's a whole other subject. I don't understand. Well, I do, but I don't. And this may get edited, but it's part of the anatomy. In current situations, I will use this phrase: everyone wants a penis. It seems to be that that's the controlling factor of the world. I do take note that a lot of the hate is directed towards male to female transition. And is it the removal of that particular organ what causes the disruption? So many things I can't get an answer about. Well, I know the answers, but I'm trying to spread the gentle word. Well, I'll leave it here for y'all to discuss or laugh at or whatever you need to do. I am emptying out myself so that I can go in peace. Whatever that word means. So, it'll be short, it'll be sweet. For all of you, those in my community, outside of my community, my conservative people, my liberal people, my people who don't know where they're standing right now. I want you to remember, each one of you has value as an individual or a group. Each one of you have to make choices not to harm anyone else with your opinion, your belief system. So, each one of you have value. Each one of you have a right to exist. Just had Norman Rockwell's paintings of the 4 human rights go across my head. So, it's time for my mass recovery day nap. Blessed be blessed, and blessings. You never know, while I'm resting, I may I have something else dumped on my head. So, until next time, love yourself.